This episode of Dirt and Fire is brought to you by these fine sponsors. Camelback, an idea born from the most basic human need, thirst. I personally have been using their hydration backpacks and water bottles on all of my hikes and runs for years. Right now they're offering free shipping on orders over $60, free returns, and they got a lifetime guarantee on all their products. For details on that, see the Camelback website in the links below. I wanted to make a quick video today talking about how you can save a bunch of money on your next truck or car purchase. Essentially, the biggest parts of it, and I mean, you can stop watching if you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say these things, but the biggest parts of getting the best deal is going to be what time you do it, what car you're working a deal on, and also how good your negotiating skills are. If you're already a master of negotiation, and if you feel you've gotten the best deal out of any car, truck that's available out there, you know, way better than your friends and family or anyone you've ever heard of, then yeah, feel free to stop watching. But essentially, chances are, if you found this video, you want to get better at it. And you know, no shame in that. It's really an art how you work a car deal. There is no basic formula, but what I'm going to attempt to do is give you a bunch of tools to use, and all of them may not work. They're not going to be quick tricks or anything like that. They're going to be tried and true methods. Some of them play off of just regular human psychology, human behavior. Some of them is just being a person yourself when you have people who you're negotiating with who do nothing but negotiate against people like yourself for a living. So you may think the cards are already stacked against you, and that may feel a little bit defeating, but I assure you there's ways that you can connect with people and get a good deal at the same time. So essentially, I'm going to do this in a timeline type of series, just how you approach the entire situation, so that way the cards are stacked in your favor and not theirs when you go to buy the vehicle. So the first thing is, you got to know exactly what you want. You need to do all of your research, and they're going to expect you to do this, but you're going to need to do all of your research and everything beforehand, so that way you're the best prepared when you sit down at the table with the salesperson, or possibly a closer or sales manager, or whatever dealership you go to. And that means doing the research on the exact model and packages you want, how much you're willing to pay for those packages. So say on a Toyota Tacoma, it's pretty cut and dry. Toyota makes it so it's not too complicated on the packages, but some of the cars or trucks that you may be looking at, they could start at 18 grand and go all the way up to 50 grand, and they'll have, you know, 100 different combinations along the way. So really what you need to do is you need to do your research, know how much the packages cost, know what you can live with and not live with, stuff that you want, stuff that you need. You need to break all of that stuff down. You need to be really prepared when you come in, and not to say to be overly prepared, but you know, just know exactly what the features are, how much they cost, how much add-on accessories are, know all the little things that the dealers try to stuff into the deals to make that extra money. Things like paint protection, like my dealer tried to put on a flashing brake light, you know, for $500. There was another thing where they were trying to register my VIN for $600. So I mean, that was an extra $1,000 worth of stuff that I was able to negotiate out right off the bat. And not saying that all dealers are going to do this, but a lot of them do, just to make that extra money on the sale. That's the little types of things they want to do. So you want to look at dealer added accessories. So say once you've done all your research and you've landed on the exact color you want, the exact packages, the exact wants and needs, those are going to be your main things you're going to want to know. And then also on the colors, have a primary color, but then also pick like 2 or 3 extra colors that you're okay with, because you know, all of us are going to keep our vehicles for a little while, you know, or a long while, and you got to be somewhat flexible if you're trying to get the best deal on a car out there. So you've done your research, you figured out exactly what it is that you're looking for, and you're ready to go into the dealership to start shopping. Keep in mind that you may go in there and you may not find the exact truck that you're looking for, you know, and again, I'll use my Tacoma as a point of reference here. And since Toyota Tacomas tend to be the hardest vehicles on the road to get a deal on, it seems like, mainly because there's super high demand and people are just willing to pay through the nose for them. With the Tacoma, since they're so popular, 99 times out of 100, you're going to go into the dealership, they're going to say the sticker price is what you're paying, or they may have some sort of paltry incentive, so, you know, $500 off, $1,000 off. Chances are the dealers put on some rims that you don't want, they put on a brake flasher, they want you to buy the paint protection, they won't let it leave unless you buy a service contract, you know, all of that stuff. They'll do everything under the sun just because they know the people who buy Tacomas just want to buy the Tacoma and call it a day. What I did is, part of my research process is I looked around online, you know, how do you get the best deal on Tacoma? What'd you pay for your Tacoma? I found a bunch of people reporting that they had seen success with the Costco auto purchase program. So the auto purchase program through Costco may not be applicable in your state, or you may not have a Costco membership, but you want to kind of think outside the box with this. You know, what other clubs do you belong to that may have an auto purchase program? AAA, AARP, you know, what kind of national programs are there out there that have a purchase program? Your insurance company might have one. You want to go and check with them to see if there's any discounts on cars, because with the Costco purchase program, I'll just use my example of my Tacoma, and what I did is I found out that the Costco purchase program brought the car, or my Toyota Tacoma, it brought the Toyota Tacoma down to, I think, $500 below invoice. It was within $500 of invoice, which took, right off the top, it took about $2,000 off of the truck. So right there, you know, I came in, the dealer pointed at the sticker, said, hey, that's the price, and by the way, we've added on $1,000 worth of stuff, and I was right away to get it $1,000 after their $1,000 add-on. I was able to get $1,000 right off of the top of the vehicle, and then I just kind of banked the other $1,000 worth of stuff, you know, to go negotiate out at a different time. So in any case, I went in, I talked to my salesperson, I said, okay, these are the packages that I want, these are the packages I do not want. So in my case, I wanted the off-road package, the TRD off-road package, and I also wanted, I did not want the tech package. So the tech package has backup sensors, you know, that beep at you, and then it has a little mirror indicators that flash at you. I don't like all that stuff. I just think of it as more stuff to distract or annoy you, or more stuff to break when are malfunctioning. So I don't want things beeping at me. I don't want stuff flashing at me. I told them I did not want that package, and that essentially I just wanted the TRD off-road package in the quicksand color. So quicksand is a very popular color, which means that they should have a bunch of them in stock, or inversely, you can think of it as they may not have a bunch in stock. It all depends on what the company, the manufacturer, is giving them and how well they do. So I went and got 3 different quotes through the Costco purchase program. You could do this without a purchase program. You can do this without any kind of, you know, discount program in place. You can just cold email the or call the dealership and look and see what they're offering based on the packages that you want, and tell them that you're shopping around so that way they give you the most competitive price that they can. You want them to compete for your business. You don't want to seem like you're hiding anything, because again, with human psychology, if people feel like you're hiding something from them, they're going to dig even further, or they're going to start hiding stuff from you. You just want to be straightforward and honest and say, hey, I'm shopping around, I'm in the shopping phase right now, and I'm trying to see who will give me the best deal. I'm looking for this color, this package, this is what I don't want. I don't want any of your extra add-ons. And you know, I want these accessories, or I'm thinking about buying a service contract. Just lay it all out there for them so they have the most information to work with. So when they're trying to get you the best deal, the salesperson, when they're trying to get you the best deal, they'll go to their desk manager, sales manager, and be like, hey, I got a guy that knows exactly what they want. We have it in stock. They want to buy a service contract. You know, you give them ammunition to advocate on your behalf, because they want to sell the truck. They don't care how they do it. They don't care if the dealership makes money. All they care is that they add another unit to their grand total, because they get paid on volume most of the time, and they'll get paid on a new car. They'll get paid a certain per diem per unit, and they'll also get a kickback from the manufacturer. So the salesperson is on your side for the most part. The people that are not going to be on your side are the sales manager and the finance manager. Those are going to be the last stops to give you the best deal. What you want to do once you've secured all three of your quotes, you want to go and start working on the best out of those quotes, and that's going to be your starting point. So they know this, so most of the time they haven't taken all of the money out of the deal, unless, say, it is through the Costco purchase program, because you got to remember that dealers aren't making what they used to on cars. There isn't necessarily a ton of money in new cars, and there isn't, you know, as much meat on the bone as there used to be with new cars. I mean, dealers are lucky if they make $1,000 off of the actual gross profit of the new car. So there's not going to be big swings on it. You know, if it's through the purchase program, like I said, it took $2,000 off, and that's kind of their bottom as far as the gross profit goes. So you're going to be negotiating from this point forward on a few different things. One of them is the gross profit. Another is if you want the service contract, and the other is going to be the dealer add-ons and the extras that are kind of thrown in. So you can go both ways on that. You can take the stuff off once it's been installed. Most dealers are going to be very hesitant to take off any factory added accessories, because usually there's modifications done, and it's going to be hard to take them off, but it isn't unheard of. They can take off things. Another one is going to be the service contract. So with mine, I got a 7-year, 100,000 mile service contract. Starting price on it, I think, was $3,500 to $4,000. I got it for just under $2,000, which I think was maybe $100 above their cost. You know, meeting any quotas by making $100, but $100 is better than $0, and they know at the end of the day they would rather sell 30 of those $100 ones. So in any case, you've got your deal. You're in there talking to the salesperson. You've test drove the truck. You know, always just drive the truck. It shows you're interested. It shows you're serious. It shows that you're more likely to buy it if you drive it. And the dealer knows all this, so you do want to show them that you're serious about buying the truck if you actually are. Then it's going to be coming down to talking numbers. The first thing they're always going to want you to do, I have no idea. I mean, I know why they do this, but I just like it. It's the same thing every time. I mean, they want you to fill out a credit app. They want to see if you're able to even buy the truck. So what I do to kind of get them off my back about doing something like that is is I'll say, hey, I want to talk numbers for financing. Assume I have the best credit. You know, even if you don't, just say, assume I have an 800 credit score, and also assume that I could pay cash for this. So I want to work 2 sets of numbers. And then again, this is a good tactic for kind of keeping them on the ball and not knowing which way you're going to go. Have them write up a deal for all cash offer, and have them write up a deal for a finance offer. And on the finance offer, just say, hey, just assume I have the best credit, you know, and I just want you to go with those numbers. If you're not willing to at least show me basic numbers, not contractual numbers, but just show me basic numbers on a 800 credit score, then I don't want to talk to you. You know, if you want to blow me out the door, then I'll just go to your competitor. I already have 2 other quotes from them, so, you know, that would be no big deal to me. You know, and I've had to tell some places that sometimes. I bought probably 5 new cars over the last 5 or 6 years. Every time I kind of go in with the same attitude that there's another dealership right down the street that I can go to. Sometimes I'm dealing with friends and family, and, you know, that's all and well, but the times where I've had to negotiate my own vehicles, you know, I mean, there's a Chevy dealership every 20 miles. There's a Toyota dealership every 20 miles. Within 20 miles of me, I think there's 3 or 4 Toyota dealerships. You know, I actually think I'm driving down the street, I'm going to drive right by one here coming up. I mean, they're everywhere. So I mean, don't act like you have to stay with any specific dealer, especially if they're trying to get you to do something that you don't want to do. Because at the end of the deal, the goal is that you want to be locked into something that you're happy with. If you're not reasonably happy with it, then, you know, what's the point? I always have them work up numbers from both angles, from cash and from a finance standpoint. If once you get to that point and they start showing you numbers, there is going to be a little bit of sticker shock, because for some reason, things in your head, if you break down $30,000 over 60 months, that seems like it should be, you know, $500 a month payment. But there's always tax, license, you know, all that stuff to drive it up. So it might show up at like $550. And, you know, feel free to ask questions, you know, when the salesperson comes back and it seems 50 or 60 bucks a month more. Just be like, why is that? More than likely they'll say, well, the rate that we're selling this at, you know, the bought rate from the bank, your finance rate is going to be, you know, 4 or 5%, you know, plus tax and license, plus, you know, whatever add-ons and whatnot. And then say, hey, well, and this is a good point to negotiate those add-ons and whatnot, and start grinding them down, because it really is a grind. I mean, you have to grind every little bit that you can out of it. You say, all right, well, you know, say I didn't want the add-ons, or I didn't want, you know, the paint protection. Can you run the numbers without those? Because I really don't like those things. I mean, you may like them, so keep them on. But anything else that you don't want and it has no value to you, just act like if it's free, I'll take it, but other than that, I don't want it. Because, I mean, every little piece of anything that's going on that truck is going to cost you money. And that's just the way it is. I mean, they're not there to give you stuff for free. They're not there to undercharge you for things. They want full retail. They want all of the money for every little thing. And so, since autos are the second biggest purchase that you'll ever make in your life, next to a house, you know, it's pretty important to get, you know, the thousands that you can out of it. So for me, they had a flashing brake light and some VIN registration thing on the deal. I told them, hey, I don't want that stuff. You know, I need the brake thing deinstalled, or I don't want to be charged for it. And for the VIN thing, I don't even want my truck registered with some weird service that now has my VIN number and personal information. I was like, I just don't want that. So, you know, we were able to pull it out of the deal. I think I had to ask 2 or 3 times to get it off. And so, with the Costco purchase price, and now I've negotiated out the stuff. Another good tip is to go and say hi to the sales manager. Just be like, hey, can I say hi to your sales manager? Can you bring him out here? Because I just want to talk to him and, and introduce myself, since I'm going to be one of your customers here in a little bit. Most of the time they will, and the reason that you do this is because sales manager, for the most part, is just going to see you as a set of numbers until you see them, and so human psychology again, they'll see you as a person, they'll see you as a customer and someone who's spending their hard-earned money at their dealership if you talk to them, which, they'll sympathize with you a little bit, and kind of, if you're able to get them to like you or befriend them a little bit, they're more inclined to give you a better deal. I've seen it work time and time again. I always go say hi to the sales managers. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, great. I'm glad you guys are on the straight and narrow here. Kind of, feel free to brown nose them a little bit. Yeah, great. I'm hoping to get a really good deal on this. All right, okay, thanks, bye. And that's it. That's all you need to do. I joke around with them a little bit. I try to make friends. I just try to put my best impression forward, so that way they'll look at me as an equal, instead of just a set of numbers that they can make money off of. So, say once you've gone through, most dealerships are going to do something called four-squaring. The four-square is they're going to try to figure out your down payment. They're going to figure out what monthly payment you want to be at, what your trade-in is, and again, this is another point of negotiation. Your trade-in, go and do your research there. You need to go and get multiple quotes for your trade-in. You can go to any dealership and just say, hey, I'm looking just to sell my car outright. I don't want to buy anything here. I'm just looking to sell it outright. Maybe include it in your quotes that you're getting from the other dealers. So you always want to give them your VIN of your current car, and you want to say, hey, this is my car. Look it up. Tell me what you would give me for it if I bought something from you. What you give me for it if I didn't buy something from you, because dealers are always looking for quality used cars. So you might find a dealership that isn't a dealership that you're going to buy from, but they may give you the most for your car, and who's going to complain about that? So yeah, get multiple quotes, do your research there. Look on kellybluebook.com and see what you think your car's worth. Go and like I said, shop around in the same way that you're going to shop around for your truck. You're going to want to shop your used vehicle around. That's just something that you got to do. So in any case, that's the third square, the four square. And then the fourth is the total sale price. So every single one of those boxes can be negotiated. You can negotiate how much money down they want, so that might improve your rate. It might have other factors as to why they want to sell the truck to you. Some dealerships like a lot of money down. Some dealerships don't care because they want you to finance more. You really just feel it out. You gotta go in there and you gotta say, okay, each one of these boxes I gotta win on, or win on, you want to win on all of them ideally. Negotiate and ask 100 questions about the money down. Ask 100 questions about the finance rate. Again, this is a good place to do your research and shop around. And by shop around, I mean go to different credit unions, figure out their rates, apply for car loans at a couple of those credit unions. Come in with a pre-approved amount and rate already set to have the dealership compete against them for your business. That's going to be pivotal to winning on that box. And then the other thing is your trade-in. So I already covered that. Get as much as you can for a trade. A good place to go is CarMax. They don't care whether or not you buy something from them, but just go get your trade evaluated. That's going to be the high end of the wholesale bracket, and you're more than likely going to find a dealer that will beat them by $100 or $200, which is great. So I mean, it gives you a solid base to work off of. And then the third is the purchase price. So a way to combat that is through those discount programs I was talking about, through good old negotiation. On a Toyota Tacoma, I mean, it's tough. I mean, they're just so popular. And if you go in on a popular color, popular package, they know they're going to have someone walk in there and give them full pop for it. So it's the purchase programs, I think, is going to be your best bet. It's definitely worth a Costco membership if that's available to you. I think a Costco membership can run $100 a year or something like that, maybe even less, $70 a year. And if you save $2,000, $2,000 and never use the membership again, I mean, who cares? You know, just go out and get the membership. Don't let a dime hold up a dollar, so to speak. You definitely want to spend the $70 there to get the best deal that you possibly can. So then that's it. So once you've done all those things, congratulations, you've completed your first round of negotiations. Yep, that's right. I mean, you're still going into the finance office. This is the time that you really gotta double down on your negotiation efforts. So you're happy with the purchase price, you're happy with the preliminary rate, because that's something, again, you can talk to the finance manager about, who, again, this is another salesperson you're running into. The finance manager is not just someone who does paperwork. They show up, they get paid commissions on the higher rates that they sell you. They get paid commissions on everything that they offer you, the service contract, the maintenance contract, basically everything that comes across their desk, they're going to get paid on. So treat them like a salesperson. Treat everything like a negotiation. They think a deal's coming into them and they just got to play cleanup crew and get you on everything else. Don't let them. So you're going to go in there and they're going to have you start signing things right away, which, again, in your mind and in their mind, this is a done deal. So they're, while you're in the signing mode, they're just going to want to slip a few things in there. Be conscious of every little thing that you're signing. Don't let them run anything in front of your face that you're not comfortable with. You can stop, you can slow down, you can spend as much time in there as you want. And I would recommend it. I would definitely recommend reading every little thing that you're signing. Because some of those things may be legalese. Some of them maybe the add-ons that you asked for them to take off and they never did. Don't assume that the sales manager and salesperson have listened to everything that you've requested. Go through the paperwork line by line, and if there's anything that you see on there, be willing to walk away. Just tell them, like, hey, I told them that I didn't want that. Don't offer any explanation. Just be like, I said that I didn't want those brake flashers. I didn't want that VIN registration. I don't want that paint protection. You may want a service or maintenance contract. Negotiate those separately. They'll say, oh, do you want the service contract? Okay, well, it's going to be $3,500 for that. Just be like, oh, is there any room to move on that? Like, can I get it for a little bit less? Even if you have no basis to stand on, I mean, that's something that you're going to want to ask them about. Like I said, I was able to get mine that was like near $4,000 down to under $2,000. So, I mean, they were trying to make $2,000 off of me on that one little thing. And I simply, by asking about it and doing a little research on my phone while we were sitting there, I was able to figure out that their cost on it was $1,850. So I said, hey, I'll do it for $1,950. He said, oh, you'll do it for $1,950? I was like, yeah. And he stuck out his hand, thinking I wasn't going to shake it, because I had been grinding on him so hard for everything else. I just stepped up, shook his hand. Done deal. You sold it to me for $1,950. I know that you bought that for $1,850, so I'll let you make your $100, but this guy, you know, is bound by word at that point. So yeah, you're going to want to ask them, you know, never stop asking for discounts, never stop asking for a better rate. Like one of the mistakes that I did is I went in and bought my truck on a Sunday. You know, what day do bankers not work? They don't work on Sundays. So for them to get me a better rate, better than a robot is going to spit out, you know, they can't call anyone, they can't talk to their connections because no one's working. So I had to follow up on Monday, after our deal was preliminarily signed the way it was, to have them shop me a better rate. And it's not something that they're going to do. You have to stay proactive throughout this whole process. It can be a bit tiring, but hey, if I said, you know, work for 5 or 6 hours and save yourself $5,000, you do it, right? Yeah, of course you would. We all would. Doesn't matter how much money you have. You know, 5 hours on a Sunday, save yourself $5,000. You know, pretty easy if you ask me. So yeah, in a nutshell, negotiate everything. Never stop asking for discounts. Never stop asking if there's a better deal or a better way to do it. You know, they may get tired of you asking all these questions, but like I said, it's just part of the game. You have to work harder than they're willing to work. Just make sure that you're constantly grind them down. On the Foursquare, negotiate all 4 boxes. When you get to the finance manager's office, negotiate everything there. And yeah, and you should be good. And if there's anything that you miss, always review your paperwork after the deal's done. Make sure that they did everything that you said and they said that you agreed upon. If you see anything amiss, don't wait. Like, resolve it that day. Tell them you want it resolved that day. Otherwise, you're bringing the car back, and you're within your full legal rights to do so. So yeah, if you have any questions or any experiences or tips that you want to share, make sure to leave them down in the comments. And I hope you found this video to be informational, and I hope it saves you some money on your next car.